Alright, hi and welcome to another installment of Math Basics with Mr. Besh. Here's another union with equations and geometry. Now this time around we have a rectangle. Now what we know about every rectangle is that the left and right side have the same value, and so does the top and the bottom. In this example of this rectangle, we have to set up an equation, and what we know is the top value has an algebraic expression of 3 times the quantity x minus 5, and the bottom has the expression, the quantity 37 minus x. So because I know what I know, the top and the bottom have the same value, what we do is we set them equal to one another. We take the top of the rectangle and we put it equal to the bottom. Now my first step when solving an equation every time is to do the distributive property. So I take 3 times x, which gives us 3x, and 3 times negative 5, which gives me negative 15. Also, notice on the other side, if there is no coefficient in front of your parentheses, you can just let the symbols drop away. The other thing I wanted to point out is notice how I stuck a 1 in front of x. Anytime you have a variable term without a coefficient, put a 1 there. It helps with your basic facts. So like we talked about this in solving, when you have a variable term on both sides of the equation, you always want to rid your equation of the variable term on the right-hand side. To do this, you need to apply the additive inverse. The additive inverse is the value that adds to it to make it 0. So the opposite of negative 1x is positive 1x. When you combine these two terms together, you get 0, and 37 plus or minus 0 is 37. But anything you do to the right side of the equation, you have to do to the left side. So since I added 1x to the right, I have to add 1x to the left. Now on the left, I already had 3x's, and 3x plus 1x gives me 4x over here. Now my equation is a basic two-step. This means 4 times x, and this means minus 15 is equal to 37. You can look at this as 4 times what number minus 15 equals 37. And to solve this, you always do the opposite of what you see. We're going to be doing the opposite of multiplying by 4, and we're going to be doing the opposite of subtracting 15. So the first step, you always undo adding and subtracting. First, the opposite of minus 15 is plus 15. Notice to both sides. Remember again, like I explained, this is the additive inverse. This is going to give us 4x is equal to 52. And then last but not least, we have to get rid of the 4. This means times 4, so now what we have to do is divide both sides of the equal sign by 4, and when doing so, x value comes out to be 13. Now, in this situation, we're not necessarily done. This may be the x value, but we go back to our rectangle term, and now we take the 13 and substitute it in to find out what are the lengths of my rectangle. And now I got 37 minus 13 is 24. Now, I can check my work by doing the top because you know the top and bottom have to have the same value. So now when I put 13 here in the top, 13 minus 5 is going to give me 8. And yep, 3 times 8 does give me 24 again. The top and bottom have the same value, and I know I did this correct. And that's that. I hope you found this video both helpful and informative.